Talking Guys, episode 45, 5, right? 46. I think I said the last time. I think it's
It's
46,
it's
episode
one it's one
46.
of the two for
Pretty
sure.
sure. A lot to talk about today. Olympians, athletes, Mandalorians firing from the hip, and penalizations everywhere. Handed out left and right. We'll see what happens. All that and more in this week's episode. Talk Guys, stay tuned.
Episode 44.
Is
Is
it
it
really?
44?
Yeah.
Damn.
Seth, that's when you're supposed to roll the intro after I say that, and then you can tell me what episode is.
Oh,
So
my
go
bad.
ahead, go ahead and roll cue the intro card.
You the
Yeah,
Card?
cue the intro card.
I don't have an intro card.
There we go. It's good.
Hey guys, how y'all doing today?
I'm doing all right. Little toasty in this house though.
Yeah, what is going on? I feel like it's extra hot.
The heater's set to 65 right now. No, 66.
But it's
And
so
it
cold
feels
out.
like it's so warm. I hate it.
It is. I've actually been sweating. That's why I took the jacket off before we started. It was getting too hot having the hoodie on.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
bringing
he started to
I've
take
been
his shirt
bringing
off, and then we said no, that is too hot.
You've got to
so,
wait
yeah,
at least till halfway through the show. You got to tease a little bit. But yeah, I keep bringing one of my fans from my bedroom in here while I'm streaming 'cause it's too warm.
Yeah, I'm sure. Especially with the computer, since that thing makes a lot of heat when you run it playing lots of like fun games and stuff.
Got all this extra equipment that all produce their own heat. I love it. So great.
Yeah, my girlfriend can attest to this, but it can be 0 degrees outside, and I'm still gonna have a fan on when we sleep. Just a thing.
Yeah.
I'm
I
yeah,
actually like
yep.
having what do you call it? Air that
Circulation.
moves through the
Oh, and not
room
the
while you're sleeping.
ambient noise too, right?
Yes, I always sleep with ambient noise. Seth says, "I don't understand how you do that." Like, I don't know. It's just like since I was a little kid, I always had like a really loud fan, like the little box fans. Get like
Yeah, I
the
get
big white
that.
box
And I mean,
fans.
because I have fans also, but
It
like
just makes me
your
sleep better.
noise machine's just so loud. Like we stayed in a hotel not too long ago, and it just felt like it was drilling into my head because it was so loud. I'm okay with noise. I always have two floor fans and a ceiling fan going, but it was just like so much. It was just like
I can
I
actually turn
couldn't
it down.
think at all.
You should have asked me. I could have turned it down. It actually can get turned down. I always have it on full blast.
Noticed.
Yes, you got fans. Patrick only has fans though.
Only you guys want to know something? I actually made an OnlyFans just to be funny. Seriously, go look it up.
No, I'm not falling for this shameless plug.
I was like, next time we talk about this, I got it. I'm ready. I don't even.
Is Pat Plays a real thing now?
Yes, Pat Plays is a real thing. You can go like, follow, subscribe. There's no content on it whatsoever.
But they can still pay you.
Yes, absolutely. Please.
Let me sign my credit card up.
I put my picture on there from Facebook, so the one that I look good in. So, I'm good to go. I thought about making one where I'm like sprawled on the bed, kind of showing some of the chest hair growing on the belly and like leave it like that.
Oh, your happy trail.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, those are really hot.
Yeah, so, I'm working on being able to connect every part of hair on my body from my legs all the way up to my neck. So I still have a problem where it doesn't grow enough right here, but
Get
I'm just going to
plugs for
start
that.
shaving the hair.
Isn't Rogaine? That's a thing, right?
You put Rogaine on your neck. Like it's like a true neck beard.
Oh God.
Gross.
Yeah. So speaking of girlfriends, happy Valentine's Day and Singles Awareness Day to those. Well,
singles
it
are
is when we
aware.
film this, so this will go up the day after. But it's snowing outside. As far back as I can remember, I don't think it's ever snowed twice here in 1 year in my life. So
That's actually
kind of
true.
nuts.
What is this snow thing?
How cold is it over there right now?
Well, I can give you an exact temperature. I know Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. it's supposed to be 0 degrees.
Yeah, it's supposed to be something crazy
It's
over here
18
too.
currently. It feels like 3. Actually, no, 17 degrees. It updated. 17 degrees feels like 1.
Nice.
Yeah, and then let's see, Monday. Yeah, so Tuesday at 7 a.m. It's supposed to be 7 degrees. Wow, 7 at 7. There we go. Yeah, so it feels like 1 degree
I'm
outside.
honestly a little bit scared because I have that truck, and it'll be interesting to see how it rides on ice because trucks are notoriously bad. Maybe I should
But it
get
is all-wheel drive,
sandbags
right?
or something. Yeah, but still the weight on the back isn't as, I don't know.
Well, take
You,
take 2 of the tires off. It'll take some of the weight off, right?
yeah,
Weight reduction.
you're thinking right.
That's what the cool kids do, right? They take the spare tire out of their car for weight reduction.
Yeah, that's actually really smart. I do
Totally.
have the spare tire is in the back. So, I do have this big spare tire underneath the truck bed, but maybe I should get like sandbags or something. I don't know. That's what I heard that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to put sandbags on each like wheel. Yeah, so you put more weight on the back to keep your wheels from sliding because you can what is it called? Jackknife? Not jackknife? What's
Semis or trailers, jackknife. It would just be plane, maybe.
where like your back end will drift forward and try and overtake the front end of your vehicle. So I'm a little bit scared because I work overnights this week. So I'm going to be driving in the coldest part of the day both times. So on Monday night into Tuesday morning and Sunday night into Monday morning. So we'll see how it goes.
So to all of you out there, hopefully you're safe, you're warm, and socially distanced. So if anything, COVID's
I mean,
prepared us for this,
what
right?
do you mean socially distance? It's cold and Valentine's Day. Nobody's socially distant.
Yeah, that they're doing the exact opposite of, you know what I mean? Getting all warm and friendly with each other, in their houses. Right? That's what you got planned today, correct?
Seth does.
No, you will.
Ah,
You're not going to get warm and friendly with the lady?
I don't know. We'll see.
No, okay. Wow. TMI. I'm sorry. Um, did
What you
y'all
got for
hear
work today?
about Gina Carano getting fired from The Mandalorian for tweets
did I?
and memes?
Oh, did I?
Yeah. And I
Oh,
liked her too. But
I'm.
then she got rehired.
Yeah,
So,
Daily Wire picked her up, right?
yep, they uncanceled her.
Yeah, and she's doing a film with Ben Shapiro.
Yep.
I don't know he was an actor, but okay. Pat, you got like a backstory for maybe those that have not been following?
Um, I do have an article which I can pull up real quick here. But basically, she she got fired from Disney over a social media post that uh likened the experience of Jews during the Holocaust to the U.S. political climate. I never actually saw the meme, but I did hear people talk about it, including Ben Shapiro, who is a Jew, and he said that it wasn't as bad as everybody's making it out to be. It really wasn't that serious. It
So
says Jews were beaten in the streets not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? That was her post that got her fired. Which I don't feel like that's fireable worth.
it's outside the Disney well-known stance. They're very they're full of shit, and I highly recommend everyone. Which this is hard for me because I love the Mandalorian and they have a lot of stuff coming up, but no more Disney. Tired of it. Unless they make some changes up top.
You're saying
Just,
cancel Disney?
It's
Hashtag that?
It's actually going around right now, and I was trying to find the numbers, but they haven't released any subscription numbers. But I mean, it's been trending for the past couple days on it canceled it. So hopefully they've lost a lot of money on it. But I mean, because it's just the biggest thing to me is because I think maybe if you're a professional actor, stuff you've got to adhere to the company that's hired you. Like you can't if you post outside of what they stand for, they can fire you. Like I don't see that wrong. I mean, I see it as wrong, but I also know like that's something that good and well can happen if you go against your company on social media. They can let you go. But the fact that they so they fired her for a tweet that basically in theory is saying we need to stop hating everybody, but then they kept on Amber Heard after she admitted to physically and mentally abusing Johnny Depp. They still have her on Aquaman, even though everyone's been saying we want her fired. They still did not fire her, but they're firing Gina for whatever small thing this is.
Well, and apparently, she made another post about 10, 15 days after the election, just saying that something about election fraud and that it was plausible, I guess. And Disney at that time also canceled her. They were going to say that she was getting a new show. They were going to make a spin-off show for her, and they canceled it immediately. And then for the last 2 months, apparently, have been looking for something to fire her for, and they finally found it. So,
I mean,
So I don't want to play devil's
That's 6
advocate here,
months.
and poke holes and balloons. The Amber Heard thing though, that is DC, who's owned by Warner Brothers, because Aquaman's a DC character. So
I mean, you could be right,
then
but why
I'm
haven't they
trying
gotten
to
rid of her?
like
She sucks.
well, yeah, I realize.
Yeah, okay.
But
but I swear that they had something. I'm gonna Google. You can keep talking, but I swear that they had something to do with her. Like maybe it wasn't Aquaman. There was something. So I'm just gonna look at that.
okay,
I think I
maybe
saw
there's
something about it too this week, so you might very
a
well
link
find
somewhere.
something.
It could just be the fact that you've got one side with the double standard, but with it being a different company, it could just be a different
Maybe
values.
maybe they say as long as you're good at your profession and it's not something that's so seriously terrible, we're just going to keep you employed. And I don't feel like that's a bad way to act, because at the end of the day, I don't think just because somebody shares something that's a little bit controversial, as long as it's not something gross or, you know, wholeheartedly just like wrong on some extremely moral ground, that you should just be fired for having a view or something on social media. I think that's the biggest problem nowadays, is that, you know, I'm not necessarily saying I agree. I'm sure I don't agree with everything that Gina believes or that other actors believe, but I also don't think you should cancel them just because they have a view that is differing from yours, right? It's like,
I'm
if they have a good skill and they're enjoyable to watch, like say as an entertainer, allow them to entertain and stop worrying about what they say outside of it.
they're
But it's
literally actors and actresses. Like they're supposed to play a role. So today they could be playing the role of an extreme Republican or conservative, and then on their next movie they could be a complete liberal. Like that's their job. Like what they believe outside of shouldn't matter. Like as long as they come in, they and they do their roles, and then the companies who are promoting them are just creating stuff for us to watch. Like, if who cares? Like, I'm sure every single member on their cast and crew have different beliefs,
Yep.
and you can't just go through and be like, okay, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, because then they can't make anything. It's just like, why does political beliefs have to come into play? But then if you're going to say, we're firing her because, in their opinion, they think she's a bad person because she doesn't believe what they believe. Cool, but then also you got to fire other people for the same reasons, whatever.
You
Which,
can't pick and choose.
yeah. So so I looked at it. So two things: Amber Heard subpoenaed Disney into their lawsuit, on her side, and number two is, they're also in talks with her for a live action Rapunzel.
Okay.
So, and they still are. Like, there's 4 days ago, they're still in talks with her.
No, even
So,
though
I
it's
mean,
been
it's
proven that she lied and manipulated and did all sorts of terrible things, including cutting the man's hand, his finger off partially. Um,
so they don't care about the abuse, because I don't know, like, the world's not ready for this conversation. But guys can be physically abused too, but they're trying to pretend that they can't. Um,
yeah.
and so, like, it doesn't count, it doesn't matter. But someone's belief differs, and we fire somebody. Like, fuck Disney.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll bring more attention to. It won't, but Disney and particularly the NBA. With the issues in China. You've got these people that are using slave labor, children, um, essentially concentration camps set up over there. And you know, if you speak ill of it, um, you know, they don't take too kindly to that because they've got a pretty big market over there. And I know Disney censors a lot of things, or will change things because it won't make it in the Chinese market. South Park even did an episode about it, and it was called "Banned in China," and it literally actually got banned in China. You've got players, that want, this is the NBA players, they want peace and equality, um, and yeah, that's great. You can preach it all you want, but you can't speak out against what's happening over there for fear of your contract or your financial um, benefits
Yeah.
being compromised. Disney and the NBA are both. Um,
I
you look it up. You can look it up, but both of them, they're both culpable in this.
I think it's interesting what you're saying too is that I just watched a podcast about it was a Joe Rogan podcast, or I didn't really watch it, I listened to it, but I did watch it on YouTube, right? I have
I think around this point, Joe Rogan should sponsor us.
I love him,
He
dude.
gets brought up a
Anyways,
lot.
he has interesting conversations.
I
with
get it.
people,
I'm
whether
just
you're
asking for some money, okay? Nothing else.
But he was talking to God. I wish I could remember the
Talking to
guy's
God.
name. I could probably find it. I'll find it in a minute. But he was talking to this Hispanic man that became a citizen in United States, and after a long time, right? But he's like a reporter and like trying to expose what's going on down in like Mexico and like all the things the cartels do and all the things the government does. And he like spoke for like an hour and a half and told all these crazy stories, right? And I think it's funny because I feel like America right now lives in a bubble and doesn't realize how bad the rest of the world is, even our neighbors right next door. And we think we're so oppressed and so trodden down by rich people and so this and so that. And it's like, this is like one of the freest countries. It is the shining light of freedom, still, even with all the problems we have currently, of any nation in the world right now. and we choose to turn a blind eye to the billions of people in other countries that are suffering because of terrible governments, terrible, political and economic structures that are crushing people, killing people every day. People live in abject poverty. And we kind of just live in this bubble where we're like, well, it's not affecting us. And our lives are so bad here when really we live these like resplendent, extremely blessed, and it's just it's kind of disturbing
I,
that people have that view.
I
Yeah.
actually had a conversation with somebody just the other day along those lines because they said something about shoot, I can't remember the actual term, but I got it going. But it was something about how and we're like the greatest. It's supposed to be the greatest nation or something like that. And so I went off on a little tangent about so many different things. Like, um, I can't remember the exact number for the America's median income, but it's between like 25 and 30,000 per household, and that puts us in the like if you make that, you're making in the top 1% of income in the world. Um, sure we don't have free healthcare, but there's so many things that outweigh like can vote, women can drive, like all sorts of things that
Running
other countries
water,
don't allow. Running water,
sewage
yeah.
systems,
I mean,
roads, electricity.
not. I mean, we have gang violence and murder and stuff, but we don't have the cartel running around killing whoever they want and the police covering it up for them. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
we
Because
don't
that's
have
literally
those
what
things.
happened. He told a
Yeah,
story about that. They literally murdered like an entire village, and then
yeah.
it's like nothing ever
It
about it.
happens all the time, and people are just like you said, they're too busy thinking about oh well, my life sucks because I don't have a 70-inch plasma screen TV or plasma screen still a thing or
I
off that.
can't wear a $5,000 dress and walk down the red carpet, so
Yeah. And it's just like it's pathetic to me. I actually watched a show the other day called Down to Earth. It's super good. If you have a chance to watch it, I would.
What's it on?
It's on
Netflix.
Netflix, and it's I don't know, I can't think of his name, but he's an author, and he's a vegetarian, and it's very like focused on healthy living. Him
Zac Efron.
and Zach Efron are the two who do it, and they go around the
Oh,
world.
you got my attention at Zac Efron.
I mean, I watched it because of Zac Efron too. So, but I mean, it was like they go around to a lot of different places and just experience their life, how they're doing things that maybe we could be doing better, like their power plants and how they're recycling the toxic gases and stuff that they're getting from
Yep.
like those kinds of things that America could probably be doing better, or just like looking at how people live, people who've been affected by major things in the world, or just live in a third world country. And
So
it
they
was
actually go and
very
visit other countries or
Oh
yeah.
just
yeah,
places
Oh
in
yeah,
the
they
all
world?
over
go
the
they go
place.
all over the country, like multiple countries. They look at so many different things from healthy living to you know areas that people who are just doing things better than us to just pretty. Like it's a super cool show. I
When
would
did it come
recommend
out?
watching it.
It's
It's been out.
Darren Olean, by the way. I don't know
It
his
came
last
out
name.
like mid last year or something like that.
Okay,
But
just one season.
yeah,
July
yeah,
10th, 2020 is
Wait,
when
oh, it's a show or it's a movie?
it's a
the
show.
show.
Okay.
But it's like 7, 8 episodes, something like that. Each one they're in a different place, learning about a different thing. Definitely interesting. It also just biggest thing for me is it gives perspective. Not only how good our lives are, but also how the kind of shit we put into our body for absolutely no reason. Like, it's a good show.
Yeah, and it was only 8 episodes, and I feel like maybe they plan to do another one. I'm not
I
sure.
don't know, because the way they wrapped it up was kind of like I'm glad we had this experience. Like they just went around with a film crew, made a season about it. It was more like they went and experienced a lot of stuff because the way it ended, it didn't feel like they were going to do another. Kind of like brought some vision to things in the world outside of our bubble.
Yeah, well, the Born Ultimatum also ended perfectly, and we see what happened with that. So,
And now there's like eight new movies about it. It's also interesting because we're talking about the Gina getting canceled, but they also Chris Doyle, who was like at one point apparently one of the greatest like strength coaches in football, got fired from his job that he just got at the Jaguar company because he had somebody under his employ that was an assistant coach that apparently was accused of like saying some like
When you say
racist
Jaguar,
remarks,
do you mean like the
like
the
the football
team
team,
The
or the
car
like
car?
company, right?
Okay.
like the football team Jaguars, like for the NFL. He got
Wait,
this
hold on,
guy.
hold on.
He
The
ba-
car
he ba-
company or the NFL team?
the
NFL team.
NFL team, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
This they hired because they have Urban Meyer as their coach now,
Mm-hmm.
who comes from college. Well, he hired this guy that worked at Iowa, the Iowa college.
So Chris Doyle was the guy that
Yeah, and Chris
said the
Doyle
thing.
got fired because he had somebody that he employed underneath him that apparently had said some like racist remarks and stuff in the past. And I guess because he had worked underneath him, they were like he should have known about it, so he's racist too. So they fired him, even though.
Like that might be a stretch.
Yeah,
Like
so
I mean,
he
because
actually didn't get fired. Never mind. He resigned himself because he basically said in a statement, "I didn't want there to be drama, or I didn't want to bring negativity to what's going on with the people at Jacksonville Jaguar and them trying to make a good team again and everything." And I felt like this controversy was not worth me enveloping the organization. So
so
he
what you're
resigned.
saying is they strong armed him to leave and are
Yes.
paying him under the table to say he resigned and all sorts of good stuff about him.
Yeah.
I
What
don't
you're
know, man.
saying.
You talk about negativity. I mean, you go 1-15. That's I don't know how much more negativity you can get there.
You
Well, he
you
just
can
got
go
hired though for the
0-16.
next season. He's not even involved in the 1-15. I
But
guess.
But yeah, I
But
mean, it's like, I mean, because I have people who work for me and I have no idea. There's no way for me to know like their beliefs on things like that. Like, I'm assuming like this guy didn't make any sort of comments or anything while at work. Like, how are you supposed to know?
yeah,
Like,
but
how are you supposed to know?
it's like I don't know. I feel like a lot of it is unsubstantiated stuff, but who knows? The article didn't go into great depth of like what the accusations were, but they weren't at him. They were at an assistant coach that was employed underneath him when he was at Iowa.
That's
And so he had to resign from his job because of the outcry of people saying that they hired a racist, even though he's not necessarily. There's no proof anywhere that he's ever been racist by people saying he's racist on social media of him having any posts that are racist or derogatory or sexually explicit, whatever. Parent, like they vetted him for months before they even hired him. The
I don't know.
owner, Urban Meyer, everybody. And then there was so much outcry that he ended up quitting. But that
Devil's
was just
advocate
another
here.
thing that was interesting about I don't know if we want to go too much farther in depth on this, but go for it. Well,
I was gonna say devil's advocate here. I this is the first I'm hearing of it, so my knowledge is as bad as much as the viewer, or probably less, depending on who's watching. Um, it's entirely possible. Maybe he had something else, in his closet, you know, and
he was just
I,
like,
I'm
I'm
not.
dipping.
No, I'm not. I'm not accusing the guy of anything
Uh,
because I don't know him. I've never heard of him, and I don't know his past. But with him voluntarily resigning, there could have been something else he didn't want to disclose or for anybody to find out. And so, hey, clearly they found out about this, and maybe I've done something, and I don't want anybody to know about it. So I'm just going to go ahead and just quietly resign. Well, obviously it wasn't quiet, but
I mean,
and I'm
that
not
could be it.
trying to throw anything at the guy. Um, but just because you have somebody underneath of you that performs an action like that, it doesn't automatically make you, part of it or responsible for someone else's actions. So there may have been more, um,
Oh, I'm sure there was probably more to
that
it.
he didn't want to talk about, or he
Yeah.
didn't want people to find out, which is
That
why he's
or
just going away.
I mean, it could be, but it also could be, like I said, just a basically a settlement. Didn't want to create, the bad PR and stuff of going through, someone fighting. Why are you firing me, etc., etc. Because there could be a lot of backlash on that. So it could have just been like, hey, we'll pay you half your year's salary if you just, resign and go find yourself a job. It's like, when you're in court and people like, okay, we'll hit this settlement instead of going to, actual court and creating all this extra stuff. We'll just, agree on something beforehand. But
And
who knows? Who
and
knows?
Urban Meyer, who was the coach, literally as soon as there was backlash, gave a statement that said, "I've known Chris for close to 20 years. Our relationship goes back to when I was at Utah. He was the number one strength coach, and really, he was doing sports performance before sports performance became a high priority in college sports. I've known him, I've studied him, we've had a relationship. I vetted him thoroughly along with our general manager and our owner. Feel great about the hire and about his expertise at the position." And he said that
Hmm.
after he got the initial backlash about it. And then in return, I guess a day or two later, the Chris Doyle came to us this evening to submit his resignation, and we have accepted. Chris did not want to be a distraction to what we are building in Jacksonville. And then blah, blah, blah. Some more PR stuff after that. So it was just interesting. I was like, don't know anything about the guy, can't say anything to his character or whatever. Just another interesting thing where it's like, people losing a job or whatever based on interesting sets of facts. But another interesting thing that I saw this week that we were going to talk about was did you guys hear about Simone Biles? She's the reigning world champion and Olympic gold champion,
Gymnast, right?
gymnastics, women's gymnastics, and she's like insanely talented. Probably one of the best gymnasts that I don't know we've probably ever seen. She's like just crazy talented, especially for the tricks and stuff that she's doing. Well, she came up with a new trick, right? That she was going to use in her routine, I guess, for the upcoming Olympics, right?
Yeah, barring they don't get canceled, they're moved
And
again.
right, if they don't get canceled. And the Olympic committee that like judges gymnastics made her trick worth less than the most difficult tricks because they were worried about the safety of other gymnasts trying her trick out and hurting themselves on a public stage. So she got penalized for making this very difficult whatever maneuver that she's doing. I think it's on the bar beam, and that I mean, hey, that looks dangerous to me. I would never in a million years do that. Watch them jump and flip and land back on the beam and everything. It's already probably a pretty dangerous thing. But I guess she has some like crazy dismount where she does it blindly. So her back's turned to the dismount and she like flips like 4 times in the air, and I don't know.
When you said
Anyways, it was
blindly, I got my hopes up thinking maybe they actually put a blindfold on her.
basically,
That's what makes it dangerous.
but anyways, it was just really and there's a whole article about it. And I think she said at the end, well, she's just still gonna do her thing, but she, I guess, was just laughing about the fact that they literally made her trick worth less points so that people wouldn't try it.
Sounds to me like she already won the Olympics. Like
Yeah,
if they don't think anyone else can do it, and much less do it without getting hurt, that sounds to me like she already won.
yeah. I hope. I watched her last Olympics and she was awesome. She's really very very talented. So, and she was so young last Olympics that she's probably a lot better now. Because I swear to God, she was like, I could look it up, but I swear to God, she was like 16, 17 years old.
You need to be 16, right, to compete?
I
Yeah,
I think so.
I
I
believe
think
so.
so. Yeah, but like insanely young to be the number one. There's a lot of people that have been young that have been good, but to be the person that's like literally winning all the competitions at that age is insane. So
Yeah, they really need to just cancel the Winter Olympics and then just do the Summer Olympics every 2 years.
I like the
Winter
Winter
Olympics are the
Olympics. What are
most
you
fun.
talking about? Have you ever watched
Way more
what is
fun.
it? Oh, I forget what the actual activity is called, but it's where they ski and they have guns on their back and they have to shoot targets every few miles. They do long distance skiing. So cool.
Yeah, ski shooting,
That
right?
they like yeah, and they have to I guess okay, because the blood and everything gets pumping so much, it's extremely hard to calm down and take a shot, and they make them shoot at different distances and they get graded on how accurate they are hitting the targets and then how fast they ski to the next point.
Now, you know what
Super
sounds
exciting.
interesting is if at each point they had to take a shot before they took a shot.
A
That would
shot
make it more fun.
of Jack Daniels, just like knock it back. Just something gross, that's like, ugh. And then they have to keep skiing for another like I think it's called the biathlon. You could look it up.
I'd watch that if they as they progress they got more and more and more intoxicated. That would make it
Like
interesting.
figure skating though, or like snowboarding. I love watching like the
Yeah.
snowboarding trick freestyle competitions where they do all those crazy tricks and try and land them, and I
And
find that like fun.
oh yeah, and then I mean, then
Slaloms.
like speed skating, which
Yeah.
isn't necessarily interesting, but it's more interesting than just track running. So it's a replacement of that. Like winter sports are just better.
The one
You
where
got
they're in
hockey
like
in
the
there.
tubes, the ice tubes, and they're in the like what is that
The
called?
bobsled
Luge.
or the
The
luge.
luge. That thing
Well,
is
it depends which one you're
crazy.
doing, but yeah, same type of thing. Yeah,
Like they're going like 140 miles an
that'd be
hour down
terrifying,
those
and
tubes.
nothing's stopping you
Oh,
from going up and over that ledge.
yeah. Ugh.
People have actually died.
Right.
That
I
means
think
it's
of that.
interesting.
It's extreme sports. The Olympics has some like extremely extreme.
I feel like the winter ones are a lot more extreme, while the summer ones
Yeah.
are just like you're
Summer
doing
one's
it,
like,
and you're
I can
insane. You're
run
insane
faster than
athletes
you.
and stuff, but you're also not putting your life at risk.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever like when they do those skis where they're going like 120 miles down and then like cutting back and forth, having to cut around the slaloms and make the times or whatever? Like, dude, watching Bodie Miller back in the day when he was doing that. And
No, you know
I don't
what?
even.
You know what makes it
Oh,
interesting? Give me some
huh.
trees. I want to see those speed skiers that are going down the black diamonds or whatever they got. Throw some trees in there. Give some obstacles to go around. Then
Dude,
I would start
no, because
watching.
then
I
somebody
start
could
watching.
literally die.
That makes it
I
extreme,
mean,
right?
and I'm sure all of them do it in their normal time with trees. Like I probably wouldn't really throw them off.
Yeah. And you know what? Make it even better. You really want me to watch? Give him a shot of Jack Daniels beforehand, and then make me go down
My
that hill and
God.
around
They
trees.
don't.
I'd start watching.
The Summer Olympics needs alcohol too. Then if that's that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
They'll
Before they do
probably
the
drink
100-meter
anyway.
dash, I want him to drink an entire fifth of Jack Daniels in one go, then run the 100 meters, and they can't throw up for 15 minutes afterwards or they're disqualified.
Hey, Olympic Committee, are y'all listening? Because you
We've got
guys
some
want more.
insanely good ideas.
You want some? You want to pump your numbers up? Get your athletes drunk.
I feel like some people would probably die from that, though. Just saying.
No risk, no
I can
reward.
see some
Wiki model.
uh, huge problems with this, with lawyers and stuff because you made somebody drink alcohol.
You don't have to. No, they just have to sign a waiver beforehand. It's just like,
Yeah,
oop, you're
you know
done.
what you're getting into.
If
The
I
world is
die,
watching.
if I die, my family
The world
cannot
is
sue
watching.
anybody.
Don't disappoint us.
Half of them are probably drunk from the night before.
I mean,
anyways,
I just feel like we're
because
working
If you're
our-
Russian, yes, you were always drunk. At
I
the
feel like we're
Olympics.
working our way towards the Hunger Games, like just trying to inch it towards it.
God, that concept is so cool when the movie is not.
He's great.
Yeah,
No.
the movie didn't do justice to the books for sure.
I mean, the books were wonderful. The movies were still pretty good. I'd give them above pretty good. I liked them. Concept is definitely awesome. I think we should work on a way and implement the real world.
No.
Just an actual battle royale.
Break the world into districts, and yeah, I think it's great.
Well, aren't we in District 1 or something? District 4?
Well, I have
I
seen
saw
a
meme
map.
about that.
I think we're district. Yeah, it was like 3 or 4, but
Yeah, where's Texas in that? Or are we shared with you
Texas
guys?
falls in with us, and also
Oh,
Tennessee. So we moved
shit.
there. Like it's
No.
basically down south.
We're
like
basically going to destroy. Nobody would beat us in a Hunger
no,
Games for
we
sure.
like
America!
as Texans, we have a height advantage. Like I think that's definitely something to take into account.
Bigger muscles,
Northerners are
bigger
short.
brains,
Dicks.
bigger guns. I wasn't gonna say that, but that too. Bigger. We're not gonna say
Things
it.
are just generally proportional. Okay.
Bigger feet, bigger hands, bigger
Well, hey, with
vehicles.
the way COVID was happening last year, in March, I honestly thought that it was going to happen. People fighting over toilet paper and paper towels.
I wonder if people still have toilet paper they bought last year. I'm sure they
Probably.
do. Like they're just like, we still are overstocked, but they're good to go.
The place I work for still does. They still have toilet paper from. They ordered all this toilet paper from the supply company that we get.
And then got upset they couldn't resell it.
No, because we're
It's
gonna
not
go through
resellable.
it. No,
You
we're gonna
can't
go through it
sell
no
it. It
matter
doesn't have a
what.
barcode on it.
Privately.
We still have. There are stores and my store just got rid of the last one a week ago. No, it was about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, they finally got rid of the toilet paper that they ordered in February. It
Well,
took
I mean,
a year.
yeah,
to get
but
rid of it.
in that case,
In
though,
theory,
they were going
saved some
to
money in the
they were
long
going to
term,
buy
right?
it anyways, no matter what. Just
Yeah.
so they bought a bulk and then didn't buy any for the rest of the year. It works out.
But we had to store it at our stores, and there's no
Well,
room in the
it's
back.
better.
It
It's better
sucks.
than that than the next month not being able to buy any, and
True.
you're just straight up out.
I feel like people would have literally freaked out.
Oh,
It would
yeah,
have
that
been
would
the end of
been-
the world if we didn't have toilet paper. So
Close all restrooms down until further notice.
Jeez, have either of y'all been ever stuck in a bathroom without toilet paper? Like at a public restroom?
no, because that's the number one thing I
I
check before I even sit down.
look.
I
If
check.
I open, I look. Yeah.
But I have been in my home before because I was like, I always think I just have the toilet paper. And then one time, like, I buy like a ton of toilet paper, and I've had it before where like I ran out of a roll and I had to use like Kleenexes.
But you keep Kleenexes inside the bathroom?
Yeah.
Is that a normal thing?
Definitely.
I feel like that's
Yeah,
a
isn't
normal
that a
thing.
normal thing?
No, if you need a tissue, just grab some toilet paper.
I didn't
I
have
feel
any
like
toilet
it's.
paper.
I mean, growing up, all of our bathrooms always had tissue in it. Even like our extra bathroom. When we used to be fancy enough to have a downstairs bathroom.
So basically, when I was sick, with some really bad allergies, this was a while ago. I actually haven't had any really bad allergies this year, which is crazy. I think maybe because of wearing the mask and stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. It's weird.
No, it's the fresh air here.
Oh, okay. Well, the fresh air has just been doing wonders for my allergies, but I bought like a 4-pack of them, and I don't use them except to blow my nose. So, I mean, I'm only one person. It's taken a long time to work through them. So we still have 1 box left that I bought literally like 2 years ago. But yeah, I keep them just in case. I think they're more like if you really need to blow your nose, it's easier to just grab a Kleenex, blow it into the Kleenex, than just like carry a wad of toilet paper around with you.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like in your bath when you were sitting in the bathroom, you're on the toilet,
Yeah,
doing your business. You need to blow your nose. It's like you got the toilet paper right
Kleenex
next
is
to you.
designed for your nose. It's supposed to be like, lotioned or whatever, and like so it doesn't irritate it.
Yeah.
Toilet paper isn't like that, even if you buy the expensive stuff.
I buy the most expensive.
Oh,
and
so do I.
Ultra
But
soft. Yeah,
it
Charmin.
wraps
Charmin
I
my
spend my
nose.
money on toilet paper, but
It
I also
wraps my
still would
nose
rather
in
use-
cuddly, comfortable goodness. And it's
Yeah.
like every time I touch it, it's like you just get this little.
Seth, you're one of
lighthearted
those.
joy.
You're like one of those one pliers, right? You're like, I want the hardest stuff on my ass.
I use sandpaper. It's cheaper.
Clearly, that's exactly what like Scott's toilet paper is sandpaper for your ass.
Basically.
I mean, I get the 300 grain, so it's not too bad.
It's hilarious because the place I work,
300 grain.
the place I work, we carry a variety of toilet papers, and almost exclusively, you will still have an entire pallet full of Scott's toilet paper because no one wants that. I don't even know why we sell it. It's
Yeah,
horrible. I don't even think it's one
Somebody
ply. It's
wants
probably
it.
like half a ply.
yeah, it falls apart in your
How
hand.
you do that? How do you do a half apply?
I just, there's one thing I spoil myself on. It's good toilet paper. It works wonders.
You want good toilet paper and you want
E-
strong paper towels,
Extra
absorbent,
strength Charmin or something like that. Not
extra
that I'm putting
soft,
Extra
extra
strength.
soft
extra
Charmin.
strength and extra
Strong. You could
soft.
slap somebody with it and it hurt. Extra strength.
Exactly. You snap it at them. Remember back in the day when we used to make rat tails, and then you'd put a little, you'd get it wet on the tip, and then
Just a
just like
tip, yeah.
pop on people.
Yeah, just
Just
gotta
the
get
tip.
you gotta get the tip just a little bit wet.
I feel like kids nowadays don't do that. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Because
They shouldn't.
it happens to them once, they go cry to their mom, who then sues the entire world.
Yeah,
So
because it hurt. It was no joke. I remember getting popped by a few of them, and I would literally have like a bruise afterwards.
that's how
because
you
it
grow
hurt
up.
so bad.
That's how you learn that the real world sucks at an early
Yeah,
age.
you had to
You, know,
be
you,
tough.
you go to camp and you got kids just smacking you around with towels.
A couple
That's
knives.
literally every time that happened. That's what it was. I went to camp and we had
It's
like
always camp.
a towel fight.
Yeah, a couple
And
knife stabs here and there, and nothing makes
hey,
a boy grow up faster, right?
I mean,
exactly.
I felt like a real man the first time I got stabbed. So
Second time it was like, well, I guess I've already done this.
second
once,
time I
so
was
it's
just
not a big
annoyed.
deal.
Did
Yeah.
you stop?
Yeah.
I've got other things to do with my time. Yeah.
Jesus. So is it snowing where y'all are at?
No,
No.
not yet. Supposedly tonight, it's into tomorrow night. Sometime in the next like day and a half, it's supposed to not snow but sleet. They're saying it's not gonna snow; it's just gonna ice, basically.
Nice.
It's going to rain no matter what, because it's Louisiana. It always rains.
Mm-hmm.
So then the temperatures are going to be below freezing. So we'll probably have sheets of ice everywhere.
Nice.
But
Have fun having no one show up for work.
people have already been. Well, I mean, it's one of those things you just leave nobody at work because out. Like, I mean, it's like South Louisiana. Like, if you think North Texas shuts down, South Louisiana shuts down.
Like I mentioned this before we started the podcast. Literally, the governor issued a state of emergency because of the ice weather coming. I couldn't believe that. I was like,
It's
a
like-
state of emergency makes me think like, oh my god, there's some serious trouble coming our way.
Yeah, it's like Cat 5 hurricanes come through, and we're like, oh, whatever.
State of
yeah.
emergency.
And then a little bit of ice, like, oh shit, shut it all down.
People were at the grocery stores apparently because I talked to one of the vendors that came in. He works for Frito-Lay, and he said they've been buying everything like crazy this week.
Because
so he had
you
to,
might I mean, it just makes complete sense. If you get locked inside your house for a day, you're probably gonna use like 6 times the amount of stuff you normally would use in that day.
Right.
So you need to prepare and buy 2 months worth of stuff just in case. Right.
And then when you find out that you're not going to be trapped in, you just eat it quicker so you can go back and buy your normal food, and it's fine. It's all good.
Like, I mean, if you
So-
bought your normal groceries to get through a week and you have a snow day, guess what? You still got enough.
As my daddy used to say, I just got my little 1 kegger here. I don't need no 6-pack when you got a keg. It's true.
Jeez.
Gotta
Hey,
keep
so
working on it.
we haven't done one in a little bit, but I got an Am I the Asshole or two if y'all are interested.
Let me just
Yeah.
go ahead and answer. Yes, you are an asshole.
I have one.
I will second that. Manchester. Damn it. We needed a third to make it official.
Yeah.
Will you
But
co-sign?
nope. I had a couple of our viewers have been requesting us to do these, so we're gonna go ahead.
I like
do
these
'em.
things. Although I really don't like these things because I don't like hearing about what.
I like to think that there are still decent people in this world, but
All right,
we
so
know
what
there
I've
isn't.
got, says, "Am I the asshole for telling my wife her parents are not allowed to ever watch our son again?"
We done this before?
I
Did we?
swear we
This is
did this one.
insanely familiar.
Maybe we did.
I mean, we've had. I don't know if the situation's the same. We've had the question
If this is the one where she got him, the
baptized or
parents got
something.
him baptized or like whatever at the church.
That may have been. I was just going over the top all, and that was listed. So, how about this one? Am I the asshole for telling my wife's friend she is too old and ugly after she repeatedly asked my 19-year-old son to take off his shirt? He was getting uncomfortable.
He was getting a.
My family had a small get together at my house. One of my wife's friends was over. She's unmarried. I think she's between the ages of 45 and 47. We aren't too close to her since she lives pretty far away. She was over at our house and she started complimenting my son, who was 19. It started off innocently enough, but as the time went by, it got more and more as she was crossing the line. When we were out on my deck, she starts telling my son to take his shirt off. She says, "What's the point of going to the gym if no one will see it?" My son at this point is starting to get visibly uncomfortable and tries to shut her down. She repeatedly asks and is now at this point getting more aggressive about it. I interject and I'm like, "Hey, Kathy, I think you're a bit too old and ugly for my
No.
son." This got her upset really quickly, and she
Naturally.
excuses herself to the bathroom and starts to cry. My wife goes to comfort her, and then later she leaves. At the end of it, my wife is super angry with me for saying that I should not have said, "Hey, Kathy." I'm sorry. My wife is super angry at me for saying that I should have just told her, "Hey, Kathy, it looks like you've had a little too much to drink or something else." I told my wife that Kathy, by the way, this is not her real name. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Works a corporate job. She has had training on this and that she knows better. Our son was getting uncomfortable. He is 18 plus.
19 right there.
Yeah. He is 18 plus, but he doesn't know how to deal with an adult, let alone someone saying that in our house. I told my wife flat out that if I was to invite a guy friend and he was to ask to see our daughter in a bikini, my wife would call the police. She says
Hey,
it's different.
No, it's
not.
not.
I tell her that I was way kinder to Kathy than I would have been had a guy said something like that to her
Hell
daughter. And I
yeah.
told my wife that Kathy needs to apologize to my son before she can ever come into our house again. Overall, I think I was fair. If Kathy just said it once and I said that I think I would be the asshole, but the fact she kept repeating herself is why I'm asking it. I wanted her to get the message that is, yes, I am upset. That's why I included the ugly part. Okay, grammar at the end there. So, yes, am I the asshole?
I mean, so
A
I'm
righteous
gonna
asshole.
I'm gonna take the no. I mean, that could he have said it better? Probably, but I also would have been upset in his position, so I probably wouldn't have said it better. But he's not wrong. I mean, shouldn't have been asking that. Like that's especially since you got what like 30 years on him, so double his life and then add some. And
That's weird.
it's just yeah, like it's not appropriate. And I definitely agree the whole part about when the wife said it would be different if some guy was asking his daughter and
No, it's not.
not like
Yeah, it's
if
double
the
standard.
person's uncomfortable, the person's uncomfortable. So I don't
And
think he's an asshole. I think he's in the right. He could have worded it better, but I probably would have worded it worse. So
I'm honestly, yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing as Seth basically is, yeah. I mean, you just there's etiquette and then there's, personal and moral responsibility to treat people in a respectful way. Asking a 19-year-old when you're a 40-year-old, even if you're like the best of friends, to take clothes off, is predatory, in my opinion. It's a little bit creepy. And definitely would be seen in a much more negative light if it was a guy asking a daughter of yours to take off her clothes and wear a bikini or whatever. It's just kind of creepy. It means that they want to see them with less clothes on, which is disturbing. And whether it sounds like she was drunk or something, because that's what the wife is kind of saying. Well, oh, she's just drunk. Well, just because you're drunk give you acceptance for or an excuse to basically hit on somebody and go past their level. And obviously he said the son was uncomfortable. So if he's not comfortable doing it, you know, be a different story if the son's like just like doesn't care
Oh,
and
that's
wants to
fine.
take
Oh,
it
that's
off and
funny. He
that's it.
takes off shirt
Okay.
or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, cool. But he's obviously uncomfortable doing it, which means she was making him uncomfortable. And that's not good.
It was
So
clearly sexual.
I
Not
don't think
into.
he's an asshole for saying like, screw off. I would have been probably pretty angry too because, it's a young person, somebody that's a lot older, wiser, has lived a lot more of life. They should know better.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think?
So yeah, I agree with you guys. It's possible that maybe the wife said what she said because she may have heard him call her friend ugly. And so it's possible she was upset more the fact that I'm gonna go and rephrase that. It's possible she was upset more of the way how the husband handled it, and maybe with the words he chose to say and how he said them, which is probably why she got mad at her husband. At the end of the day, I doubt that she, being the wife, I don't know. I guess maybe she could have. She and I think he, being the husband, I think the husband could have worded what he said differently, and I think he could have handled it a bit more maturely than he did. Um, so I don't think he's the asshole for telling her that she needs to leave, and that she needs to apologize if she wishes to come back to the house. Um, and I think maybe the mother might have just been upset with how he handled it. So, but no, I don't believe he is. And yeah, I think if someone is sexually harassing you, which is clearly what was happening, that it needs to be dealt with.
I mean, so I get what you're saying. I even kind of said it about said it wrong, but also you got to think that, well, for one, he's probably drinking too, so less impulse control. But then two, he's angry because you're sexually harassing his son right in front of him. Like, so like I said, I probably would have been worse. So just calling her old and ugly is maybe on the nice side of it. If they all were like having a conversation about something like, then got time to think about it, sure. But I think calling her old and ugly.
Yeah.
And the fact that she goes and cries and stuff, I don't know. I mean, obviously, maybe she didn't have any weird intentions, but sus. Very sus.
Yeah, I honestly personally going after a character and the predatory feeling
Yeah.
that she was giving off. So just calling her old and ugly is being nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have. I would not be happy. And then I would have been like, at the end of it all, if you want to see somebody that's good looking, that will take his shirt off, you know, check out Pat Plays OnlyFans, baby. And and she would have been happy and just like moved on with her life. That's what I would have done in his situation.
He missed that plug, and so now he
Yeah,
ruined a
he
relationship.
missed the shameless plug, and it cost him. It cost
Is that
me.
is
And
that
I
how we're
hurt.
ending this episode? Is a plug for Patrick's OnlyFans?
Yeah, I just one person go and follow it, just so I feel appreciated. You don't have to subscribe, just follow. There's a lot of good content on there.
Let me go make an OnlyFans real quick. Actually, it's connected to Twitter, so I might have an account.
It's
We
actually
shall see.
crazy. There's a lot of OnlyFans on there. The one day that I made it, like just the main people have really like gone all in on it. Like, and it's not even like totally sexually based. Like people have
Oh
like
yeah,
their
no,
fitness
there's
channels
a
and
lot
every
of stuff
sorts of
that
things
aren't.
on there now. And I was like, damn, life coaches, everything. the first like 10 profiles, I was like, I am out of my league on here. They've got professional photos edited, words put on. I'm like, Pat Plays was just supposed to be fun, and now I feel like it's gonna end up being, my full-time profession someday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Everything is sexual if you make it sexual. So
Yeah, word.
I'm not able to. I don't see you, dude. Sorry,
What?
you're not here, man. It's
I
just
don't know.
Pat,
I
Pat
gotta
plays. PAT plays, right?
at Pat Plays.
All right, let me try at.
I
well,
don't know.
while
Maybe,
there
maybe there's
are
some setting that I didn't turn
Yeah,
on.
I don't. Then no
Damn,
wonder you
dude.
don't have any followers, man. You got to make it a thing.
well, I guess if any of y'all are interested, go follow him.
I mean, we can't find it, so I guess not.
I
darn.
really did make one though, just
Oh
to
darn!
be stupid.
Oh man! Oh, just geez, that sucks.
Don't worry. If you'll just link it in the description, when
Nope.
we post the video, people will be able to find it. Just
Sure.
check it out.
Yeah.
I'll post me playing League of Legends every day for you. Okay? For your entertainment.
That's what the people want.
That's what I'm talking
People
about.
want.
Yeah. So, thank you again for checking us out this week. As always, check the description if you need a link to the Facebook or the Twitter. Post updates there. And if there's anything that you guys think would make for interesting conversation, let us know in the comments or on Facebook or even tweet us. Because we're always listening, always watching, like Santa Claus or the government. So check us out next week. Episode 45 next week, right? Because this
Next
is
week will be
44.
45. Yes.
All right, and
Yeah.
then we'll get to 46 eventually. So,
Eventually.
yeah. I guess.
All right.
Peace.
Later.